This is the place we are currently calling home, the southern province of the Netherlands, Limburg, dangling off to the south between Belgium and Germany. The province is known for its hilly landscapes, basically mountains by Dutch standards, and has been shaped by the Maas River flowing north towards the Rhine River. If you haven't picked up on it from my other videos, I'm kind of a river enthusiast, so this top 10 list of things to do in Limburg will start off by going with the flow down the Maas, or the Meuse River, as they say in French. The river is one of the major rivers in Western Europe, with its headwaters in eastern France on the Langres Plateau before flowing northward to join the Rhine in the complicated delta between Rotterdam and Antwerp.
We're in Maastricht, the big city.
The first stop is the most famous, Maastricht, named for a crossing of the Maas River. The capital city of Limburg, Maastricht is known for its medieval architecture, vibrant cultural scenes, and the beautiful Basilica of Saint Servatus. The basilica is considered to be one of the oldest surviving churches in the Netherlands, as legend has it that it was initially started as the burial place for the first bishop of Maastricht, Saint Servatus, possibly a distant cousin to Jesus from Armenia. It has been significantly upgraded or restored on several occasions since then, including by the famous Dutch architect Pierre Cuypers in the late 1800s, who we'll get to later, in Roermond. Another fun fact is that many foreigners recognize Maastricht as the famous location for the signing of the treaty on the European Union in 1992. What is this, Ashley?
It's an old spelt mill attached to a bakery that still bakes food.
What kind of bread is it?
It's spelt, just another kind of wheat.
There are a handful of restaurants that still serve a regional dish, zilvervlees, or sour meat, with horse meat that is kind of like a stew, but with a sweet and sour flavor. It was actually delicious comfort food, especially on a cold winter day.
Where are we, Sam?
We're in Thorn, which is also known as the Whitewashed City, because apparently in the late 1700s, I guess the French came and started taxing everybody on the size of their windows, so people started to brick in their window openings, and then they would use this cheap whitewash paint. I guess it came into style, so people started painting their houses white.
And now it's just really cute.
Ashley, what do you think of the weather?
I like the snow. Sam doesn't. So I like it.
Driss, you like the snow?
I do. And you don't like the snow.
Yeah, you're right. I don't really
You and
like
Mommy
the
like
snow.
the snow though, huh?
I caught some.
You got one?
Yeah.
Yeah? Was it yummy?
Yeah.
The Gothic Abbey Church of Thorn stands proudly in the center and dates back to the 10th century. The abbey served as a convent school for daughters of the nobility and had a string of female leadership for around 800 years. The Pancake Baker is one of our favorite stops in Thorn, with a playground in the basement. Woohoo!
This one.
You got a pancake house.
Like that? Actually, it's on right now.
Here's just another couple interesting side stops in the vicinity of Thorn. Next up is Roermond, another great city we've spent some time in. Many people know it for the designer outlets, but we really like the waterways and canals along the Maas and the historical downtown. Just learning a bit about Pierre Cuypers. Pierre Cuypers. Probably can't pronounce that quite right, but probably one of the most famous, if not the most famous architect in the Netherlands. Just gonna learn a little bit about him here. Apparently this is the house that he lived and worked in, here in Roermond. Pierre Cuypers was a pivotal figure in 19th century Dutch architecture. Best known for designing some of Netherlands' most iconic buildings, including the Rijksmuseum, the Central Station in Amsterdam, and the De Haar Castle, which I made a video about earlier this year, which you can check out right here. He was a prolific architect, having worked on almost 150 religious buildings and 120 secular buildings throughout the country during his life. It's hard to go anywhere in the Netherlands and not be able to find a project that he's touched. Roermond also has some fantastic lakes just outside of town connected to the Maas.
What are you working on?
Trying to get ready to go.
Where are we sailing our boat to?
Underwater.
To underwater? We don't want to sail a boat underwater.
Number 4, Mijnweg National Park, which is the only national park on our list, but there are actually many great open parks and forests in Limburg with walking and biking paths to explore. This national park straddles the Dutch-German border and is known for its diverse landscapes and still has adder snakes and wild boars. It's a great place for getting outdoors and especially for great flowy bike paths. Our most northerly stop along the Maas River is Arsen Castle Gardens. And this is a really good example of this kind of early modern period where castles are starting to become residence, just kind of a big fancy house basically. Not so much as a fortified position or anything like that. And so a lot of these families and rich people basically would start putting in these huge elaborate gardens, and this one in Arsen is kind of famous throughout the Netherlands, gets a lot of attention. It's actually really expensive as well, which is why family's not here with me today. It's just a solo mission up here. The castle's roots go back to the 14th century, but it really came into being in the 17th century during the Renaissance and early modern period in castle building, as castles began to transform from fortified military buildings into luxurious residences. During the Siege of Venlo, a small part of the much larger 80 Years' War, which ultimately led to the Netherlands separating from Habsburg Spain, the castle was destroyed in 1646, and then rebuilt in 1653 by the Lord of Arsen. Fortified elements like moats and walls were retained for aesthetics, and then water features and gardens were added to reflect the wealth and prestige of the owners. Today, the gardens are open to visitors for an entrance fee, with modern additions like a sculpture park and several international gardens. Working our way back down south, away from the Maas, we come to the town of Valkenburg. The town is famous for its castles and quaint downtown, but probably most people come to see the caves, especially in December for the underground Christmas market that takes place inside. The municipal caves are a limestone quarry where a type of chalkstone called marl was extracted for building material. The name Valkenburg likely comes from medieval falconry, which was popular around the 11th century when the name of the town was first mentioned. Another fun little stop all the way down south is Three Country Point, where the borders of the Netherlands, Belgium, and Germany meet. Okay, let's go. It's worth going at least once, and kids love the maze. Number 8, located in Kerkrade, Gaia Zoo is a popular zoo in the region with a focus on providing large natural habitats for animals. It's an excellent zoo for families and animal lovers alike, with well over 100 species divided into 4 areas: the rainforest, savanna, taiga, and Limburg local species.
Actually, the dino dome.
What's in the dino dome?
That's a brontosaurus.
Brontosaurus? What else is in here? Can you show me around? The zoo also claims the fame to the largest dinosaur dome in Europe. A great place for kids during a rainy winter day. Number 9. Castles. Due to the province's strategic location throughout history, Limburg is home to the third highest density of castles of the Netherlands' 12 provinces, with Utrecht and Gelderland being number 1 and 2. Limburg has approximately 120 castles, ranging from well-preserved castles open to the public to smaller manor houses and ruins. A few of our favorites we've visited so far have been Kasteel Hoensbroek, Kasteel IJsden, and Kasteel Valkenburg. Last, but definitely not least on our top 10 list, it's not about the destination, it's about the journey.
I like mud. I really like mud. More mud. This is a beautiful, muddy place to go.
Like the rest of the Netherlands, Limburg is full of expansive bike paths, offering scenic routes through rolling hills, forests, and quaint towns. Almost every time we get out on our bikes, the first thing I say is, we really should be doing this more often. Well, if you made it this far and you live in Limburg, you're probably wondering why your favorite spot isn't on our list. Well, as all these internet lists go, this is a very subjective list. This is just our favorite stuff that we've been to so far. If you have any suggestions for us for other places in Limburg to check out while we live here, appreciate the suggestions down in the comments. I also apologize if I butchered any Dutch pronunciations in advance. I know I probably did. I'm sure you will correct me down in the comments as well. And if the video helped you out, please give a like and subscribe. It'll help us out. Thanks.